Action! Hey everybody, it's Valerie Wallace Fine Arts. We're going to do a little drawing today. We got a nice dragon to do. We're going to do 3 different versions, and you just pick one. If you have pastels or crayons or something, that's one style. I'm also going to do one with markers, and I'm also going to do one with a pencil if that's what you've got. We're going to work on a little bit smaller piece of paper than usually what I do with the kids, so if you're out there and you're going to have to scale it down a little tiny bit, just because I assume that not everybody has big paper available. So let's go ahead and get started. So the thing with this dragon is that, first of all, if you look at the head here, this is basically just a square. So we're going to start with that. The spikes are obviously what shape?
Triangle.
Triangles. And they can be big triangles, they can be little triangles. So we got a couple of big triangle horns. And this is the most important part, right? The flame. And so to make the flame show, the tricky thing is that we're going to, especially if you're using pencil, you're going to have to do some coloring because to make this look bright, you have to make everything else in the picture dark. But if I can do it, you can do it, okay? So first of all, we'll start with the color. If you've got the color, and you can follow along the same steps with a pencil too if you want to, or with markers. I'm going to start with, I guess I'll start with a brown, okay? And we're going to start this part. We're going to start with this line right here. If you're a little bit more advanced, you go ahead and do it the way that you feel like doing it. But this is for, anybody who's never really drawn a picture of a dragon before. This is going to be your lucky day. We'll start right in the middle of the paper, and you're just going to make a line about this long. Okay? Okay. If you're doing pencil, same thing. That's just going to be a line right here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go across the top and across the bottom like this. We're thinking square, so they're all going to be about the same size. There's that. There's that. If you're doing markers, do the same thing. Okay? You're going to go down on this side about this much, and then you're going to go a short little bit right there. Okay? So a little tiny bit on the lower mandible and a bigger line on the upper mandible. Alright, like this and like this. And then he has a huge mouth. So you're going to go from here, you're going to almost go back to the edge of the square like that. Okay. All the way back like this. All the way back like this. Alright. The next thing we'll do is we'll put, oh wait a minute, I don't want to forget, we want to have his little beard. So you can put some little lines down like that. And then we're going to do the horn. And I think the easiest thing to do if you want to make a sharp, pointy horn is to start out here and come back. Start as far out in the corner as you can. So we're really going to fill up the piece of paper. Start out here again. Instead of starting here and going up and back, then you get a rounded horn. This way you'll get a nice pointy one. Okay? And the thing is there's 2 horns, but the other one's smaller. So you just make another little line like that. Okay? So that's this way on this one, and that way. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is we'll put this eye in here. And to make him seem a little evil, what you want to do is kind of slant this line down a little bit. So if you can make a slant, and then you're going to make like a smile shape across the bottom of that a little bit. Okay? Maybe give him a little nostril while you're at it. Over here, we'll color that in. Is it working? Okay. Alright. Alright. The next thing you're going to do is we're going to have a line that go to this corner of the head. And you make a line that goes all the way over to the other side like that. Alright, then you're going to start, we're going to the front of his little breastplate here, and that's close to the front of his chin. So you come right up close like this, but this line goes to the bottom of the page. Okay? And then the third one for the back of his neck, in actuality, it's coming from this corner, but we have the horn in the way, so you don't want to start there. But it's not out here, and it's not here. You're imagining that it's going to come from this little corner here, and that's going to go off to the side of the paper like that. That way his neck looks like it actually fits his body. Okay? And then, let's see. The next thing we're going to do is put some of these spikes on here. So, you know, you just have the little triangles on here. You can make some little spikes on his forehead, maybe some on the back of his neck. Alright. And then over here. Again, I hope you're not trying to make 3. That's not really the lesson, right? Right, Daph? Mm-hmm. Daphne's like becoming a camera person today. A new skill. Okay. You think that a dragon would have white teeth, but, or maybe yellow teeth or bloody red teeth or whatever. But in this case, because of the flame, we're going to have the teeth be super dark because what they are is actually in shadow. So when we color the face in dark, we'll color the teeth in all at the same time. But let's save those, let's get those on there now. So you're going to make your pointy teeth, okay? Maybe some on the bottom. All right? And so we don't forget, we're going to save our spot for the flame. I'll do that in just a second. Give you a chance to draw your teeth in. Okay. Okay. All right, now when you do the flame, the important thing is that the flame is bursting out of the mouth, right? So it starts at the lips and gets bigger as it comes out to the side. Oh, he left. All right, so you're going up and down. So you're going to have sort of a triangular thing that goes off. Shoot, 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 shoot. Okay? Oops. All right. Got a dragon on there. We're ready to do some coloring. Okay? All right. I like for us to use 2 colors whenever possible. We want to do a little mixing. If you have a whole huge assortment of Crayola crayons, pick anything you want. Whatever color you want your dragon to be. The one thing I wouldn't suggest is for the, well, you can make the whole thing red, but maybe you'd want to make maroon here because we are going to have the orange here. So if you make this orange and this orange and this orange, you know, it's not going to, everything isn't going to show up as much. But, you know, pick something to be the head and the body, a color for that, and then again we're going to use a reddish here, and we'll do some fire out here. And then what you pick for, you can pick anything you want to for your, maybe your dragon doesn't live in a blue sky land. I don't know, maybe it does. So maybe start and we'll color in a little bit of whatever you're going to use on the body. All right. A little this and that. And the great thing about doing a dragon is that it's aggressive and evil, unless it's Ord for you old people. So you don't have to color it all smooth and perfect and pretty or anything like that. If you're going for, if Emma Jean's out there, maybe she's giving me a nice pink dragon. Who knows? All right. So I'm going to put a little brown on there, but just for fun, I'm going to put a little bit of light blue on there too. What's going to happen with that is because my brown is a little bit reddish and orangish, that blue is the opposite of orange, and when you put those two together, you're going to get kind of a brownish grayish color, and I like that. And that will help, if you don't get too dark, it will help when you go to do the, like kind of draw the scales on, because if it's really, really dark, it's going to be hard to see that black that we draw on at the end. Okay? Don't forget the beard. A little blue beard. And I think I'm going to give him a little horns up here. Maybe a little bit of gray maybe with that too. Okay, so we're going to take a few minutes, get coloring. If you're doing the pencil, you're just going to start coloring everything in with your pencil, okay? And what you're going to come up against is that you're probably going to have to color the background. And I think what you're going to want to do is go pretty dark on your dragon, and then a little bit lighter filling in the background. But we'll have to put a little bit of dark or you won't be able to really see how the flame thing works.
So give me one of them, I'll color it in.
Hmm? What?
Nothing.
Okay, that's good enough. Oh. Okay, let's apply my brown zone. Alright. That's good. Okay, so grab yourself maybe an orange. And we're going to put some orange down here on the breastplate. Which is maybe partly because it has the flame like reflecting in it. Okay, and then part of drawing is learning to draw, well, lighter and darker with all just one color. So I might have to make this a little bit darker. Okay, then I'm going to put a little red on top. Okay, and maybe this one. Alright. The next thing I'm going to have you do is, while you have your red in your hand, is we'll put a little bit of red on our flame. Like this. And so maybe you have like a squiggly line and maybe a little bit of extra wiggles of red like that. And we'll do that down here. Okay, and maybe a little bit of orange. Not too much though, because what I want you to have is that bright, bright yellow in the fire. Okay? And oh, while you're at it with orange, take a little orange and put it, don't fill the whole eye up if you can. If you do, don't worry about it because we'll put the black over it. Put a little bit of orange or, you know, red in the bloody eye of our dragon, you know, the bad. And
it's okay.
We're saved. And then we're gonna use the yellow. And so when you do the yellow, get that right inside the mouth here. Okay? Because that's where all that fire's coming in from, the guts of the dragon. Alright, and then you can color right over this. The difference between a crayon and the pastels is that the pastel is a little softer, it has a little more color, and so it blends a little bit easier. So, you know, even cheap pastels, no offense to Pentel, but these are fantastic. They're cheap though, but they're fantastic. So if you have any of this stuff, somebody gave you Grandma gave you a kit of art stuff during Christmas, then now you can get a chance to use them. All right, let me get a little, I don't know if this artists are working on. Oh yeah. Even a highlighter. Okay. Put that out there. All right. Before we go any farther, we have to think a little bit about the background. Since I put the light blue up here, I'm going to use something a little bit. Should I move the whole thing? Okay. Since I put the light blue here, I'm going to use blue, but I'm going to use a different shade of blue. Okay? It doesn't make any sense for me to have the exact same color I have here as my background. But if I use a little bit darker blue, it's going to help me with my fire seeming really, really bright. Okay? So go ahead and get that background colored in. So whatever you choose, if you want green, or you want black, or you want pink, or you want, but anything a little bit darker and different from the color of the dragon would probably be a great idea. Okay? If you're coloring, so keep on that. If you're using color, go ahead and do that, and you're going to get this whole background colored in. For my marker one, the same deal. Like, if you don't get it all colored in, this is probably the more important part, and also it's something that you can do later on today, because I'm guessing you don't have a lot of other stuff you can do, and you can do some more coloring now. This marker's not going to work. Okay. Right up there, right up close. It's more important to get right up around your image than it is to get all the other parts. It's all about where the edges of two colors meet. Okay, I learned that. Art school, Trent Burleson. Probably a lot of other people, but I remember him in particular. Okay. And if you're doing the pencil, again, you're thinking maybe a little bit lighter, but you do want something, if you're doing a black and white picture, the only way to make the flame seem bright is by doing everything else dark. So even though it might take a few minutes, it's worth it. And out here, and sometimes you can blur it a little bit. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have to come back to my dragon here, and he's going to have to get darker to have the contrast against the background. Okay. All right. Carry on. And, oh, wait a minute. We'll do this. See how that makes the flame just hot. Very, very hot. Okay, oops. Okay. So now we're coming to the final, pulling this together, and what that's about is the black. Okay. So hopefully you have a black. If you don't have a black, you can use purple or dark brown or or what else, Steph? Maybe dark green as long as it's super, super dark. Okay. Get your black one. If you can, quick, before you start, save yourself a little spot that you don't color in on the eye. Just a little tiny bit, and that will leave it a little bit of a highlight. Okay, I need my glasses on so I can do a good job with this. There we go. Okay. This is what's going to give him, just pull them all together, and, get that texture of his scales and all that kind of stuff. We're going to use the black for that. So you're going to bring this line like right over the top of his eye. See how angry he looks? We can put those bags or whatever they are. Yeah, let's go out here, probably outline. We'll do a lot of outlining. All right, and then you can just wiggle or you can point. Well, that's not very pointy, but whatever, okay? You're gonna go this one, you're gonna make a little edge here, you're gonna make some scales here. We'll come around this front of his chin. Take your time, but I'm gonna try to do the other ones.
Slow if you need to.
Huh?
Alex is struggling. You can go slower if you need
Oh.
to.
I need to slow down?
Yeah, maybe.
All right. I'll leave you at this point for now. We don't have much left, but I will do the other ones. Let's see. Thanks for the feedback, because I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I've taught a lot of classes, but I don't know what I'm doing. This is crazy. Okay. All right. Down here, same deal. Hi, Alex. I think Audrey and Anka are listening. Let me think. Next time, if you let me know, I'll know you're out there. Let me know you're watching.
You'll be able to read out the comments after. I think.
Oh, all right. So in here, I mean, these teeth are important. So we're gonna make sure that we, this is a silhouette of teeth. Lots of you have heard that many times. A silhouette is different than a shadow, right? A silhouette is actually there, a shadow isn't. That's awesome. All right. There we go. Oh, I forgot the beard.
Val, how
What?
could you?
All right. Wiggle, wiggle.
You can go slow, it's okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm too fast?
No, it's okay, it's okay. You're good.
Okay. You know what it is who can't keep up? I bet it's not the 4-year-olds. That's been my experience.
Alright.
All right, let's see. For this, maybe what I'll do is leave a little bit of white.
Watching.
Hmm?
Halsey and Porter are watching.
Oh, hey, Halsey and Porter. I also heard that Wait and Finley, I think maybe you're out there.
Yeah, they're in the
Alright.
house.
Awesome. Okay. How's that?
Good. We'll have to do a close-up after.
We'll give him a little bump here on the nose. Okay. And I'll look at... Keep coloring. Keep coloring. Again, if you need to color a little more, you can always do it later. Alright, so I can build up that shape of my, soften that square a little bit as I go along. No matter what you're using, you can adjust that shape a little bit when you're coloring it in. Alright. And if you've never drawn a dragon before, might not be what you expected, but You did it. Who cares, right? Just a piece of paper. Something to do for a few minutes. Keep yourself busy. And I guarantee you, try it again, you'll get better at it. Okay, so I have this dark face here. And again, what I need is to make the background where my fire is. I need this to get, the darker I make this in this area, the brighter that flame's going to be. You know, and maybe you don't have maybe you don't have any colors at home, but you might be able to come up with a highlighter or some kind of orange or something like that. Some food coloring. Oh, well, what else? Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say you could use some real blood, but
No, I don't say. Well, you said it anyways.
that's probably not a good idea. What else could you
Some
use?
makeup.
Makeup, yeah. But anyway, but you see, the darker I go, and the darker even if I color in out here, darker around or right over my spikes and everything, they're going to fade away because there's going to be less contrast, and then this is going to become more and more and more important. Okay? Okay, so let's just finish it up. I need to make sure I want these teeth to stand out. You can see right now that the color of the face and the color inside, it's just not enough compared to how bright it is here. So I'm going to make sure, and I know this is sometimes hard because it's one of the last things you're going to do, and sometimes the last things you do are the things you have to be the most careful with, and you might be getting a little tired, but pull it together and pull it together and do your best on the teeth. Okay, you don't want to scribble them all over. It's important that they're sharp, but you want to fill those spaces, even if you don't do the whole face. Where it really matters is right there against that yellow. And you see how that makes that yellow seem super bright? Right, Dav?
Mm-hmm.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. Looks great.
Yeah.
So he's been...
It does. See that? Right? And then I can go, the darker I go up here around the eye, the more the eye stands out. Oh, I got that nostril in there. Give him a big one. Right? Maybe I'm going to bump his snout out there a little bit. Okay? What's missing, Dad? Or maybe a little outline out here.
Yeah.
Maybe a little outline here. If I color, a little over this, I get a little shado on there. Shadow. Maybe make this one a little bit darker in contrast and fade it away back out there. But you gotta have two. It's like drawing a dog and you think you only need to draw 2 legs, but you really need to draw 4 legs. I mean, unless it is a 2-legged dog.
Which is
But then
good.
you'd have to draw the little wheelbarrow thing that they
Yeah.
have on the back.
Yeah.
Not if it's 3-legged dog, though. Okay, how's that? Or maybe round that a little bit.
Looks
Maybe
good.
here. Good?
Yep.
Good?
Mhm.
How about that? Okay, please let me know how this went. I'll take any suggestions.
You're putting it online.
And it will be online. I'm pretty sure that it will be on my Facebook page, and you can watch it again later, share it. And I think I'll try to figure out how to get it on Instagram, or whatever. I'll try to have it available in other places for you if you want. And maybe I'll get it on YouTube, and that way if somebody you know doesn't Facebook, they can also see it. Is that good? All right, over and out. Thank you.
I don't know how to turn it off.
It says finish.
Where?
I don't know, somewhere. On the bottom where you put the
Come over here now.
You got it?
Yeah.